Hey everyone, Corey here coming in to do the energy update for the 11/11 portal. Plus, this is also for the week's energy because, of course, once we pass through this portal, we are heading into the week. Now, yesterday on the 10th was probably one of the most energetic, chaotic days I have seen in so long. Why? Because it was the full rebirth. It was coming into that birth. And so in my dreams the night before, I had a very clear vision of the divine, the expression of the divine child, and being able to feel and sense that the beginning of something that was coming into the light, and it was the Christ light. And so there was this sense of powerful, forceful energy. And when it's coming in and it is drawing us up and into our highest expression of ourself, it's the same thing. It's the same kind of feeling of when somebody is giving you the constructive criticism with love to be able to help you live your best life. Well, that's exactly what this energy is like and what this 11/11 portal energy is. Of course, we are in 2025, which we are in the year of the 8. We're going to be moving into the year of the 9. And so that brings us into the infinity. It brings us into the cycles and circles of life. And so there is a pivotal time of where one thing ends and another begins, just like a pregnant mom, a mom who's holding her baby still inside to the new baby outside. And so there's a whole new level of vulnerability. When a mom first finds out she's pregnant, it's vulnerable, it is unknown. And then by the end, she's like, just get this done. And it gets uncomfortable and things get very uncomfortable. And that's what the 10th was like. And even part of the day. And then today, it's the energy of the 11/11. And as we move into that 11/11, it's just as if she's given birth. And now she holds this new baby. And so we have given birth to something new, or we're within ourselves or within the collective energy. And we're holding this new baby. Well, there's a whole nother level of vulnerability that comes with that energy, and holding that vulnerable energy in our hands and being with that vulnerable energy and just feeling the vulnerability between both that new soul, that soul that is now on earth and is older and wiser than the mother could even possibly be, but it's now inside of a child. There is many things that are taking place. And so there's the seed of God that's in the plans and the desires, the plans that are moving forward, that we call our inspiration or our sense of feeling like we're answering a call, or there's some sort of passion. And then there's our overshell of our egoic self that believes that this is all, all in my hands and I'm doing all of this. And so there is this greater plan that is at work. And so this 11/11 is we get to master the master's plan. And so there is the higher level of consciousness that we are a part of that goes beyond even our imagination's ability to imagine. And then there is our actions and how we show up in the world. And so as we're moving forward into this week, it is about how we show up. It's about how we allow ourselves to be moved by the powerful essence of what is coming through. Now, this is a powerful week in more than the 11/11, because we also going to be moving into the full moon in Taurus on the 15th, but then we're moving into that big exchange of Pluto moving out of Capricorn and into Aquarius. And this is a real powerful shift that is taking place. We're never going to see Pluto in Capricorn ever again in our lifetime, just as if that mother that was holding that child will never get to experience holding that exact same child ever again inside. It's now outside. And so we always have that sense of the time that we lived in fear and unknown, sometimes in the pregnancy stage of something, or forgetting that we have other things, and then moving into that new stage. And so every new stage we start, it's like we get so sidetracked and so caught up that we have to be very aware as we move forward this week of obsessions and becoming obsessed, because the energy has power. And we we can't have all the power of the universe, the divine energy, because if we're given to it, if it was given to us, we'd be a shit show on earth. Like, we literally look how when somebody is given power and what they do with that power, and how that powerful face can be given, can really truly be an influence to either be for the good or be for the worse. And we never know sometimes what that is. But it's our moral compass. And so what is guiding us moving forward is the sense of being able to really put into check that moral compass. And what is morally right, not as egoic right. What is the thing that we want to do to feed our soul? And so we've been fed so much of the fear stories, and this fear story has continued so much. And so same thing with a newborn mother, a mother with a newborn there's a lot of fear stories. There's a lot of how-to books, and there's a lot of ways, but nothing and no one is exactly the same. We all have a level of uniqueness and authenticity that is aligned to us. And that's why learning to be able to trust your intuition, and being able to really truly listen to that inner divine expression of self. And so a spiritual growth and a spiritual evolution is what is really truly beginning to unfold here on earth. And it's to be able to be distinguished between what is imitation and what is real. What is that real fear story, right? What is it to really be afraid of? And what is the fear stories that have been spoon fed? And just like holding a new child, it's totally, the child is going to become everything that you feed into it other than what it has innately. And so our job is to spend enough time with that child to see its innate qualities and enhance and grow that innate qualities, those great qualities that we're born with. And so those great qualities just need someone to water it, to nurture it. So the same thing with the dreams and the goals, is to pick out what was the real truth behind it. What is really in there? And if we're still chasing our shadow, if we're still chasing our shadow stories, if we're still feeding our hungry ghost as we move forward onward and inward into, this new coming year, it's going to be a pretty exhausting journey. And you may get there, but you may never be able to find satisfaction and contentment. And so this divine expression does speak of the power of contentment, and recognizing that, someone else making all their changes is not going to make you content. Somebody else doing all the things that will make you happy. A child becoming the perfect child so that you're happy is never going to make the child happy. It's going to make you happy. And so it's the same thing. If we're going to allow what we're cultivating, this purpose, this call, this plan, these things that are these presents, these blessings, these gifts that are being bestowed upon us as we move forward, these opportunities that are coming, if we only exist in them in feeding the shadow, then we'll be circling back to this again. We may never see Pluto in Capricorn, but we'll see the aspects of our shadow again. So we are struggling through this light energy in some ways because we run from the power. We run from the light. It's like the sun and the heat. And when it's too hot and you can't wait for summer, you can't wait for the sun. But then when it comes, well, it's too hot. You're complaining because it's about creating the comfort. And you'll stay inside even though you want to see the sun because it's too hot to go outside. Well, that kind of perspective is exactly what this powerful divine expression, this spiritual authority that is coming in, that is filling us right now, and that is telling us the exact same thing. So we can keep creating this harmony. We can still keep getting caught in following the aspects of creating a ideal world, or we really truly are here to move into an acceptance of a world that could be a little bit messy. So there is a little bit of a wild and messy. So if we allow ourselves as, you know, the new mother energy or new father energy, I don't want to say just new mother, as the new mother and the new father energy, if you allow yourself to be a little bit messy, vulnerable, accept that I don't always know, except that the books don't always know, and that the how-tos don't always know, and the ideal time and the ideal plan and this and that is not for everyone and for everything. So your thoughts, your beliefs are not for everyone. You're not for everyone. You don't belong for, you're not here for everyone. And this expression of we were already enough. You were born enough. We were already enough. We already were enough. We started out as enough. So everything that we're chasing, everything that we're following, everything that we're trying to force into our lives right now, take a deep, deep, hard look at where it is that expression that is running from the trail that I am not enough, or this is not enough. I need more. I have to do more. And asking yourself, what is really not enough? And what is really not making me happy? And what have I been chasing? And what am I done chasing? And if you're chasing love and you're looking for love and you're looking for love and you find love bombing and you get love bombed and then you find, and then love bombing turns into an obsession, you know how that turns out, right? Love bomb turns into an obsession, turns into control, turns into disaster. And so same thing with your project, same thing with everything. You know, umbrella parenting doesn't work out well. It doesn't protect, it doesn't save. Worry does not solve the solution if we're always in the worry. We can be concerned. So there can be level of concernment. So leveling up your language, your conversations, the things that you do is a prime, this is prime energy to be able to ask for guidance. And that, you know, you might not hear it the way that you think you will, but you'll feel the whispers inside. You'll feel the push. You'll feel the, oh, I feel like I need to do this. I feel like this is speaking to me. I have this sense that I just got to do something. All of that energy is what is trying to move us forward and move us into this coming week. And so in this 1111 energy, in this portal energy, is stepping in and stepping through. Now, are we all on the same stage and going the same pace and on the same journey? Absolutely not. Do we all have the same thought? Do we all believe the same things? No. Do we support the same things? No. That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. Because if we all became all the one, what would ever give us the opportunity to level up? And we're here to be able to level up, to grow up emotionally, spiritually. Just because you look like an adult, don't make you an adult, right? There is an adulting energy, and it don't mean you're immature in all areas. It means that we can still be trapped in the inner child, the inner teenager, that inner story, and what's holding you back, and what still has a hold on you, and what still is what is still being the narrative, the narrative of the story. And here's where it ends. We kind of have to, you know, this is where we're at the door. There's a doormat, and you have to wipe off your feet. You got to take your shoes off, and you have to walk barefoot. So there is this sense of having to feel our way through, and to feel our emotions, and feel the energy, and to feel this, but finding new ways to react and respond to the feelings. And that is where the leveling up is coming. And so there's a lot of this spiritual expression that you can go learn whatever you want. You can go study it. But if you don't and think, oh, I can't wait to go give that to somebody else. Yeah, I got it. It's when you dive deep. It is the deep dive into healing of where the mirror turns around and we look at ourselves. So when we look at ourselves in any new role, any new expression, is if we're longing to be who we once were, we're still holding on to something. We're still have an image of that life. We're still competing and in comparison with something of that life that we still think we should be chasing. If it's what you're still trying to run from, or what you're still trying to make up for, if you didn't like who you were and you're still trying to be better than, if you're still trying to be better than your mother, if you're going to tell yourself, I'm going to do a better job than my mother, I'm going to be better than my mother, that is a judgment and a comparison based upon the perspectives of what we think. We don't know the whole story. Why was our mother's not, why was your mother, why was our mothers, any of ours, maybe not able to fulfill all of our needs? Because they were human. And because they had their own things happening in their own lives. And so if you look at the person and look at the person in your past, including yourself, look at the version of you in your past, and maybe she was the skinny version. Maybe she or he was, the absolute best shape. But what did it cost? What did you sacrifice? And did it feel real and authentic? And did it feel healthy? And now, are you the same age? Are you the same person? Are you living the same life? Do you have the same body? Do you have the same stamina? So finding a sense of returning to love and falling into a gratification and being grateful for who you are today. It's the same with the new mom. If the new mom could have nothing but arms wrapped around her to love her and support her and just say, you're going to mess up. You're going to get this wrong. Your child might be the child who just rolls off the bed, right? And it's like, because it's not because you weren't watching, it's because you also had to reach for the cream to put on the baby's bum. It's like all of these other things. And so it brings in a level of self-forgiveness, a level of realization. So self-realization and realizing the value of self. So giving birth to this sense of self and no longer chasing that same narrative, that same story into the whys. What is your why? What is your greatest why? What is it that you're following? What is it that's happening? And does this mean, as we come through all this, that kumbaya, we're going to move into the most perfect times in our lives? No, because we're going to realize the value of self in each and every time, and the value of self when we are about to lose ourselves in chasing the mob mentality. And so there is coming some sort of end I feel like this is really a spiral dynamics thing, and I wish I could move into coaching to do this. And so into that spiral dynamics of moving beyond the mob mentality and moving into the power of the I. It's very brave to get into the crowd and get lost into the crowd and become a part of, whatever is going on. It takes a lot of courage to step out of it. It takes a lot of courage to drop your shield, drop our guards, drop everything, and to walk forward. And I mean spiritual courage. I mean virtuous courage. The courage to say, you know what? I'm not saying I'm on this or that, but I'm getting back to the center of me, of where that doesn't feel good. That doesn't feel good. And how could that ever feel good, to live my life in that much anger and anguish when I could be living in peace? And if we were to tell ourselves the truth, are all people bad? No. Are all those people, the so-called whatever we want to call them? No. Is all of mothering difficult and hard? No. Is all of building a new project hard, difficult? No. There is the good. And if we can start extracting that and start seeing the other aspect of this, that there is good, there is still good, and there's good everywhere, and there's joy everywhere, and there's light everywhere, and there's love everywhere. And will I always be happy? And will I always be filled with love and light? No, it's a bullshit story. It's an impossible task. That sense of enlightenment is way overrated. The sense of being the perfect mother, the perfect woman, the perfect man, overrated. Being content, finding the contentment, finding that peace, becoming a piece of peace by bringing in gratitude and appreciation and a sense of self-forgiveness for being in such powerful competition with the self and comparing to who you once were and chasing down that of, well, I'm never going to be this again. I'm never going to be second again. I'm never going to be this. I'm always going to be a number one. Well, chances are you're going to be a number two. Chances are that's going to happen. Chances are there's going to be a time when you won't be first. Chances are there's going to be a time when there's somebody always going to be making more than you, doing better than you, growing more than you. But what does that matter? And why should that matter? And if that's what we're chasing, and if that's our desire, and if we keep getting caught in the imitations of perfection, the imitations of perfect world, or the limiting beliefs of all of that, We can't open and expand ourselves to the messy, to the unknown, to allow ourselves to walk with ourselves, being in the power of self-discovery, self-wonder of, I wonder if I just do this, or if I just try this, if I just let go of that thought, if I just let myself sit and relax into this, if I just fall back into this, if I still take action, but relax into it, if I know that I'm content with who I am, imagine what God's plan may have for me. So there is a divine expression in our God's plan, our creator, source, whatever that language is for you. There is a plan that sometimes require us to just get out of the way and let ourselves be moved. And so there is a spiritual movement, a divine expression. And as this angelic forces and as the holy realm and as the magi prepare for entrance into this new energy, there is some strong realizations and ahas that we will be bearing witness to, that just shows us how powerful and real the divine expression is when we let it be expressed through us by moving out of the way. I send you so much love. Have a beautiful week, and we will see you soon. And this is also Remembrance Day. So remembering those who fought for us. Freedom is a privilege. And the moment you want to take away anyone's freedom is the minute that you are entrapping them. And we are not here to entrap or enslave anyone to our thoughts, our stories, our beliefs. And also to know that freedom really, truly is something that we have all been craving, wanting within us. And that freedom is to really, truly live to the authentic. We were born perfect. We were born the way that we were designed to be born, into our divine expression from our soul, expression of self. And as we grow and as we evolve, we get to find ourselves truly when we start to listen to our souls and not listen so much to our heads. And so, yeah, may we never forget the cost of our freedom. I send you so much love. Have a beautiful day, beautiful week, and I'll talk with you soon. Bye-bye.